Hello everybody, my name is Zen and welcome back to more of our Wildstar beta coverage. This time we're checking out Shiphands. Now, Shiphands are pretty unique in Wildstar. There's something that really hasn't been done here, at least to the extent that they're doing it. So what are Shiphands? Well, Shiphands are kind of like a dungeon, except not really. They're a lot easier. They're meant as like a side quest kind of thing that you can go and do, but you can also go and do it with friends. And as you see, we have a group here, and this is a level 10-ish one that we're doing, but we have, you who's level 18 and a couple other people going on. One thing we could do is we could mentor our lowest level person and do it that way, but the Shiphand itself scales, so if you go in with one person, things are going to be balanced for one person. If you go in with 5 people, they're going to be balanced for 5 people. So it's kind of cool how that all works together. We really like that feature about Shiphands because it means you could do it on your own, or if you have a buddy that's you're questing with or that is around the same level as you, you could go run the Shiphand together and get it done with. So it's pretty cool. It's a little side quest thing, like I said. It's essentially a mini dungeon that you don't really have the pressures of doing dungeons with, but you still get some cool mechanics that you want to see outside of it. So that's a pretty concise way of explaining it, at least. So what we're doing here is there's all these like crystal things that we're having to protect currently, and that's just our goal. Just so you know, so you're not like, what are they doing? There's like mobs coming out of nowhere. And we're all pretty bad at the game because we're still fairly new. Like the highest level I've gotten is 18. That's not too far into the game, but we're better than we were when we were, level 1. That's always a consolation, right? But let's talk about the Shiphands in general. So Shiphands were designed as a strange concept from Carbine. Basically, they love sci-fi, and they're making a sci-fi game, as you see here, and they wanted to take a ton of sci-fi tropes because a lot of bad things happen on spaceships, right? As we all know, in sci-fi games or movies even. Dead Space is a good example of like bad things happening in a sci-fi world on a spaceship, right? So is Aliens. And Aliens is more the vibe I think that they were going for with this specific, there we go, Shiphand. This one is really cool because you start on this like ship that we saw out there, and then you go out onto this moon. And the moon is cool because it has reduced gravity. So from here on in the entire Shiphand, we have reduced gravity. So when we jump, we kind of jump way higher than we're used to. Things kind of float around a bit. It's kind of a cool mechanic that you wouldn't see outside of doing the Shiphand. So it's totally worth running it just to see that alone. There are other places, adventures and other little dungeons that do kind of the same thing. And you get to go explore places that don't have that gravity, and you even get it in some quests, the ability to jump super high with reduced gravity. But it's really cool when you're on a moon doing it, right? And it's pretty low level. Like I said, this one's level 10 on the Dominion. You go and do it. Either way, they were going for a kind of a darker theme here, kind of Dead Space, kind of, Aliens, as you'll see in a second. We have our flashlights on our head. We're in this derelict spaceship that's all dark, right? Which gives you, or it might be a moon base, I'm pretty sure it's exactly what it is, not necessarily a spaceship, but you get the idea that this is meant to be kind of creepy, and it's really cool because, for one, like I said, you have the reduced gravity. The second thing is you have this dynamic lighting going on with these headlamps. It gets a little chaotic because there's, when you have more than you running around, the lights go all over the place, but that's to be expected because if you had headlamps and you were doing this in person, you would kind of have the same effect where the lights would be going everywhere and you're making a mess of everything because you can't really see, each other's lights are blowing in your face, stuff like that. I think you get the idea. But if you're running this solo, obviously you get more of an effect of the dark, creepy, Aliens vibe. And you're going to these corpses and bugs are popping out of it. It's pretty gross, but it is really cool. It's something that I wasn't expecting. I actually, going into the game, didn't know what Shiphands were, and then I saw one for the first time, tried it on my own, wasn't very good, I got owned, and then I came back a couple levels later and did it again, and I was able to do it just fine, and then I did it with other people, which was way more fun to be able to experience with them. And honestly, I think I think I like it because you're in the middle of questing, leveling up a character, and then suddenly you have the ship hand to do, and it's way different than what you've been doing, and you could bring friends along to do it with you. It's just so cool. I like that it scales. I think that's the coolest part to me in general. Plus you get, extra story, as we said earlier, but I'm kind of curious what they have going on in the future. They said in a blog post when they described what Shiphands were, that they want to explore those themes that they see in all of these different, sci-fi movies and games and stuff where things go bad on spaceships. I want to see what they've got up their sleeve, because this was cool, and I haven't seen a single one since. But I could only imagine what they could come up with. Like, imagine if they did like a Dead Space type thing, but with Starship Troopers as kind of the theme. So there's like bugs everywhere and they're coming out, and you've got like flamethrowers and stuff, and because it's a Dead Space ship, it's really dark, but your flamethrowers are lighting the way as you're like blasting all these bugs down. I think that would be really cool. Just an idea. I don't know if that's actually in the game or not. Probably isn't. Also should note that because this is beta, so many things are subject to change here. Like, for instance, in this room that we're at currently, in the previous beta weekend, there was a set of stairs that like went up and around to the top of this place, and there was nothing up there except a lone bug that you could bring down. We didn't know what it was for or anything, but it was kind of cool. Like, oh, we got a little like lonely bug following us around because it got lost from the queen, which is what we're killing now. It's like the hive queen. So the objective of the I guess the end objective of the entire thing. Either way, I think they're going to change a lot with these anyways, and I wouldn't expect everything to stay exactly the same as it is. In fact, you're probably already noticing weird things already. Like, I've got a DPS meter up on the right-hand side of my screen. I have a threat meter. I have things that are like calling out me losing threat because I'm tanking, and I've got mods running. So like everything you see on the screen right now isn't going to be what you see at launch, because the whole UI is going to be different, and you won't have the same mods as me. So expect things to be different when you go and do this. That's all I can say, but expect it to still be just as fun. But on that note, that explains what the heck a ship hand kind of is, and gives you an idea of what you can expect out of at least the Dominion one. So we shall see you guys next time.